Honestly, I'm loving this. You can see Nico Robin, in the Miss All Sunday with her other two companions. You see all of them together. Miss Valentine, Mr. Five at the beginning, and then in that city when the Marines, they are everyone locked inside of a place to protect themselves and to not let anyone pass through it. Nico Robin just ignores physics and breaks through, and her scene is simply epic, but more than epic, it's how you call it. That this season is gonna show more of it, and it's awesome because in the anime you see them more against the Straw Hats, but you don't see them behind the scenes a lot. So this is gonna be very interesting.
We see Zoro lifting weights, we see Usopp kinda panicking, we see Nami thinking about money, we see Sanji thinking and talking to Nami, we see a lot of things in this 2-minute clip Netflix released. I will show to you things that you have never noticed, or maybe you have noticed, but some things you have never seen them in that perspective. Basically, I'm gonna analyze and deconstruct this whole clip. By seeing this, I already get kinda goosebumps because just remembering how Usopp and the whole crew acts together and then seeing them in the live action doing this well, that's inspiring. That gives us hope that live action can actually be something good if one whole company like Netflix, one big company like Netflix decides to do something great, and they are doing something great in this one. First we see Nami, Sanji and Usopp. The three of them are on the upper part of the Going Merry, and both are looking at the map. They're starting to talk about that trip to the Grand Line. What should they do? Should they move on, or should they stop somewhere else because they're short on food, they're short on a bunch of stuff, of basically materials, and they need to stop somewhere by and buy some stuff. So Nami is checking the islands nearby, and she sees that the islands that are nearby are not safe enough. So she's like a little scared. You can see in her face, in the way she talks. Even though the outfits are not exactly always the same as in the anime, they do look pretty much alike. For example, Nami, she normally wears those basic t-shirts. Sanji, he wears the more classical shirt, while Usopp, he's wearing a tank top. So you see that difference. Every character is different. They have their own background, their own personality, and the good thing is, like, even in the hair you can see Nami is orange, Sanji is yellowy haired, and Usopp, he has that black hair, so, or I would say more of a dark brownish hair. So you can see everyone has a different style, everyone has different personalities, and that makes the Straw Hat crew so much more interesting, because when they interact with each other, you see how the interaction between different characters change. When Nami is talking to Usopp, or Nami is talking to Sanji, or Nami is talking to Luffy, it's always different. And when Zoro talks to them, when Zoro talks to Sanji, when Zoro talks to Nami, there is always a different dynamic, and that makes it so rich. You guys are gonna see. What I also find very interesting is Nami with the glasses. She doesn't usually wear glasses, but here it makes total sense because she's analyzing. She's looking more like an intellectual person. So a very interesting addition to her character. And you see Sanji talking soft with her. He has a lower tone of voice, but at the same time, he's kinda in that whispering tone. So the actor, he's doing a pretty nice job in playing Sanji. Nami, she's worried. The way she speaks, the words she uses, and then Sanji, he cuts her. When she says, maybe we could, he cuts her.
Maybe we could. You're free for the first time in your life.
Sanji automatically remembers everything that they go through in season 1, and then he just says, you were free for the first time in your life. You are free, so just enjoy it now. He sees that she's carrying some burden from the past with her in that moment. Everything we say has a burden, you see. We are the sum of our experiences, plus genetics, plus how we were raised, but we are basically the sum of our past. And then the funny thing is, it's not that Sanji is going closer to her, it's not Sanji's tone of voice. you see here clearly is the shopping thing. It's shopping what makes her kinda go out of her state and smile. You see Nami, she loves money. Everything around the money world she loves. She loves making money, but she also loves a lot spending. And I forgot also stealing money, because her way of making money is stealing. But we see that after season 1 there will be a change in her, where stealing will not be the main way of making money. The main way of making money will be getting money from them saving other people. And then girlfriend, just to anyone like a friend, instead of actually saying bad stuff about the person when you're mad at the person, just say good stuff, even if you're just joking. But that always makes the person feel good, like, hey, you good looking guy, you handsome guy, stop that, man. You see, the way you talk can be kind of harsh, but the words you use kind of contrast, and that makes the situation a lot ironic and also quite funny as well, and good for the person who hears it, because the person is like, I know he's just talking in that way, but it feels good because he's telling good stuff about me, he's kind of praising me, and that feels good. Recognition always feels good. And then I like how Usopp just out there, man. I mean, when a serious guy is having a workout, you don't want to mess up with him because he's in a serious mode. That's what I would think about Zoro, but no, he's pretty chilling there. He's like, just some weights here, I will do some strength workout, but I don't necessarily have to look like an angry guy, which is fine. Everyone has his own style of working out. Zoro, you see, when he's completely alone, he has that more serious look, but when he's more just chilling on himself, he's still open. He may still look serious, but he doesn't look necessarily angry. He will still, like, if someone approaches him, he will be pretty chill about it. That's so cool, mate. He is exactly like here, exactly like this. This makes me so happy because Oda and the characters and everyone involved, they're making such a huge effort to make the characters look and act and speak like the people in the anime, and that is what makes it so good. The interactions are exactly like they would be in the anime, exactly like it is 100% perfect, almost. Of course, the words they use might not be exactly the same. The way they say, the overall content of what they say is pretty much the same, and that is freaking awesome. That's admirable. That's praiseworthy. Entered it in and he mixed it. Sanji. He comes and he says, you have been feeling off since the scar Mihawk gave you. Sanji is always looking for a weakness in Zoro, always looking for a reason to say something bad about him, to have a bad commentary. But it's not like he's being a complete jerk. It's not that. It's just that their relationship is like that, of fighting verbally and also physically. That makes it so good because you see they love each other, and you can also see that they hate each other at the same time. So that contrast makes their relationship so good. That is why when I see episode 377 of One Piece, the nothing happened moment, you guys don't know about it, especially those who only watch live action, but in the anime, that was a huge moment. Comment here below what you guys found about it without spoilers, please. When for Zoro he says good, and then for Sanji, when Sanji says food, he's already delighted. He already wants some of it, and he was already wanting to go there. And then when Nami mentions it, that detail makes him go crazy, because Luffy has a huge respect for the king of the pirates. He wants to become the next king of the pirates, so he's obsessed with the previous one. It's like you wanted to become a soccer player, and then you are obsessed about Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. That's who Luffy is. Or the same goes if you want to become a basket player, then you get obsessed with Michael Jordan or LeBron James. If you want to become a doctor, get obsessed with the best doctor of the world. So the more you know about the person, the better it's gonna be for you. Normally, that's how it's normally. The lifestyle, what the person did, what were the person's beliefs, everything. So the more Luffy can know about Gold Roger, the better it's gonna be for him. So when Luffy sees that that's an opportunity to know and see for himself the place, to step at the same place where the king of the pirates died, that's a huge thing for him, a huge step for him. That's a step closer to his goal. That's a step that's gonna give him more inspiration, more motivation, and then he decides he has to go for it. So think like Luffy. Even if the place you go, the Loguetown of your life, can be dangerous, go there. Think about what would be the Loguetown of your life. For Luffy, Loguetown was a place where he could experience at first hand where the king of the pirates died and how it could have been his sensation, to help him imagine a little bit more. So for example, as a Christian, a person that's a Christian and reads the Bible, that person would very much want to go to Israel, because Israel is a place where everything in the Bible happened, and that will solidify the faith of the person. I want to go to Israel one day because it's a very historical place to go to, and my mother, she went there and she was amazed. So I want to go there too one day. So that's an example, and especially for also those who want to know more about the Bible and if it's real, if God is real or not, I would definitely check Israel. It's a nice place to go to. It's as if you want to become a doctor, you go to the same place that specific surgeon you admire went, or you go to the same college or the same school or internship where the person you admire went to. I would definitely recommend you to go, especially if you have a big dream. Go to the same places those guys went to, because that will change your perspective completely. If you want to have a house or have a lot of money, get yourself to try this experience. Stay one night at an expensive Airbnb. Do that, or a luxurious hotel, and you'll see that it is real. It is a possibility. You can actually achieve that. That is what Luffy wants, to feel what the King of the Pirates felt, so that he can go closer to his goal and understand a little bit more of that person.
We're going to the Grand Line so that I can find the One Piece and
become king of the pirates.
A thief, she knows how people work. She knows how to observe people, how to look for weaknesses. She knows that stuff, because as a thief, you have to have a lot of skills in order to steal from someone without that person noticing. So she's got the skills, guys. She's got the skills, and those skills are not easy. She knows what will trick you to do something. She knows what will make you do what she wants. That's why Nami is a dangerous woman in One Piece. And that is also why studying One Piece and deconstructing One Piece is really interesting, because everything in One Piece has a purpose. Everything. All the elements connect together eventually, and the characters are so well developed. What they say, the way they say it, everything is thought out. It's not random, and that is what I like about One Piece. If you want to know more about the deep things in One Piece, this was a very surface level analysis. Even though it was still a little deeper than most other channels, it was a surface level. Imagine what else you will see if you stick to this channel. That's the surface level. Like I said, you can still go much deeper. Are you ready for it? Because I will do a bunch of reviews, a bunch of analysis and deconstructions, and you will be amazed by how much of One Piece you missed. I would not miss out. Click the subscribe button, because we will thrive in this, and I want to have you ride with me in this journey together. Here is the Honest D. Here is the Honest Deconstructor.
Switching from We Are to the classical One Piece live action theme, that opening was very good. It was extremely well made. I'm impressed. I want them to release the full version of that. Man, I like it. Now the Straw Hats set sail to Loguetown, but now you see that it goes back to the day of execution. But unlike in the anime, it shows a lot more than we would have expected, because in this case, Oda, he knows the whole story, so that now they don't need to hide anything. They just show everything in the right moments. We can see that now in the live action, Oda, he can literally write the story as if he was starting One Piece from now on, because he knows everything, because he wrote the story of One Piece anime. He has been writing as the anime has been progressing. Normally he doesn't like write 10 years ahead. No, he gets the idea and writes about it as the anime flows, and the manga as well. Sometimes he does plan ahead, but it's not a big step ahead plan, so that now when he gets to go all the way back, he has all the information he needs to sum it up in the right moments, to put it in the right moments and the amount of information that needs to be in those moments. But here we see in Loguetown, we see Roger's past with Garp, and then him revealing he has a son, which is normally revealed just a lot of episodes later, but they already revealed it in here. Who is that son? That son is called Gol D. Ace. And we get to see Roger already saying that piracy isn't over. Did he have a plan? No, it's not that. He knew that it's something part of humans at that time. And then, especially with his treasure, if he told about his treasure, people wouldn't want to find it. But it's not more about it. It's more about the fact that maybe he thought that if the king of the pirates would be dead, then they would want to have a new king of the pirates, so that piracy would not be over. In life, things may seem they're getting over, but a lot of the times we think it's getting over. It's not. It's actually just the beginning of something greater or something else. Sometimes your suffering may be the beginning of someone else's success. Sometimes your suffering may be the beginning of your success in another area or even in the same area. So don't give up. Maybe you can't see the other side, but there's always more. Always. Especially with a person like God. You see, joy and peace, and he can give you that to you as well if you give him a chance. How do you give him a chance? By doing a prayer, by saying, God, I give you a chance to transform my life and seek to know more about you, maybe in the church or maybe Bible or internet, and I will let you in and I will let you transform my life, and you'll see that he'll do a great job. Now when the Straw Hats get to Loguetown, it's the best thing ever. You know why? Because their interactions are perfect. Nami saying that 300% interest is good, then she also knowing Luffy's, let's say, weakness, and then telling Sanji to go buy some food with him, and then Usopp as well giving his excuses like, oh, I gotta keep with her to keep her safe, and then all of that is just wonderful. And you notice there's something, it's Nami who is leading everyone, which is very interesting. She's the weakest, one of the weakest ones. Maybe Usopp is the weakest one here, but she is the one who is leading everyone. That is pretty funny. So now in one of my previous videos, I told about the fact that Zoro would cook a couple times. And this is one of them. Man, he finds Tashigi, and then Tashigi sees his loss, but he doesn't want to say his loss. He has a high pride, you see. But then he finds the store, and then when he gets there, the seller, he just tries to lie to him. But the sword is worth a lot, but a lot more, tens of millions of dollars. But Zoro doesn't know the value, so Tashigi comes and gives the real value, and Zoro sees that he's been lied to, but he doesn't care. However, when he starts trying to find some swords, he sees a cursed one, and then Tashigi warns him about it. So what does he do? He stretches his arm and just throws the sword. If the sword cuts his arm, then it's not his. If the sword doesn't cut his arm, then he would take it. And they copy the scene from the anime so well. Well done for Zoro. It's extremely well done. Don't try that at home because it will cut. It will cut. That's just in an anime. It's like a chance out of like thousands or whatever. I don't even know, but it's very hard to do that. It's not easy at all. That shows that Zoro doesn't have fear as much as other people do. Zoro, he goes toward the challenge without fear. He doesn't fear the challenge. He challenges Mihawk in the last season. He challenges fate itself in this one. So Zoro doesn't care. He really doesn't. And then we see Luffy passionate about food, which is normal for a guy, Luffy, right? He loves food more than anything else. more than whatever, more than woman, more than anything else. He loves it. I'm in Luffy's team. I love food as well. I love trying new stuff. And then it's like in season 1 where you see each one being presented, each character being presented. Here is the same. Luffy is about food. Sanji is also about food. And then Zoro is about swords. Usopp is about his crazy stories and lies. And then Nami, she's about robbing, stealing, and luring people in. And also, she knows how to manipulate and how to talk to people. And at the same time, she knows a lot about the weather and life as a navigator. So when the air changed, she knew that it was gonna rain. Usopp, he was confused, but she knew. And then you see Luffy getting lost. That's it. Now there is something very interesting. You see then Buggy and the rest of his people, they're in Loguetown over there hosting a circus tent, or you could say a circus event, but there's not a really big event. They were just more waiting for Luffy and his rival. And then you see Luffy, Buggy, and Alvida re-encountering each other, and then all the system of lawyer and Buggy wanted to put on a show. That's very Buggy like. He loves that. And then he has Alvida there with him. Though I find Alvida kind of disappointing because she ate a devil fruit, but her appearance did not change at all, which is very disappointing, honestly. I wanted her to be beautiful like she is in the anime, just to be better in the story, you see. Maybe they could have changed the actress a little bit, maybe with Photoshop or CGI a little bit. I don't know how they would do it, but they didn't do it, and that's totally fine. And then all those events, you see the Straw Hats going there, and then they will move Luffy somewhere else. And where is it? And then you see Buggy moving him where? To the exact place the king of the pirates died. And then when he said any last words, Luffy just told everyone there loudly that he will find the One Piece and he will be king of the pirates, even at his death, which is crazy. He didn't care, even at his death. My goodness, Luffy laughing before his death. I don't know if he wanted to be like the king of the pirates, or if he was like, man, I tried my best. No, that's it, that's the end. I'm dead now. It was a nice life, and everyone's seeing the laugh. Captain Smoker, Buggy the Clown, but they did not have what Luffy had. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And then exactly like in the anime, we see lightning coming and destroying the whole platform and hitting Buggy before Luffy's death. They have a very similar way of building everything. They take the most important scenes and they act almost like exactly like in the anime and in the manga, which is awesome the way they stay faithful to it. But the thing is, Luffy didn't get hurt because he's made of rubber, and that will make sense in a future arc. That will make total sense there. Basically, the lightning, it broke off the Sea's prism stone handcuffs, and then when it hit right through Luffy's rubber body didn't conduct electricity, so that nullified it. The only maybe damage he would have got is from falling down, but since he is made of rubber, he didn't get any damage. Well, Buggy, bye-bye Buggy for some time, and then everyone starts running from the Marines when they arrive. But you see, you see Luffy and Captain Smoker, huh? You see Luffy and Captain Smoker, and also Sanji there. They couldn't do anything against them, but then you have our guy Smoker being freaking badass there and taking out Luffy and Sanji easily. And then I like the moves as well. The moves, they were so good. He did like a blow that looked like a Kamehameha of smoke, and then he also did the move that made Luffy got stuck, and then he put basically smooth through his mouth into his lungs. And he is strong because Luffy could not move, so he takes a sword, and when he's about to kill Luffy, you see Dragon Man, exactly like in the anime, dude. Dragon Man, he's crazy. The actor looks so good, so well done. Honestly, such a real thing. It's crazy when you see the anime and then just looking at what they've done in the live action. It's just so exciting. It feels so good, honestly. He's a mysterious character, and they don't reveal much about him yet, but the thing that they did here is he just transported Smoke away from Luffy instead of transporting Luffy and the others away from Smoke. So this is an interesting addition. Very well done. And then he mentions the world government, right? What about the world government? The world government wants Dragon's head because Dragon is one of the worst criminals. Who is the world government? That will probably be revealed later on in other seasons, maybe already next season, who knows. Then Smoker, he returns to his bar where Gold Roger last drunk before he went to die, and he decides with Tashigi and the Marines to chase down the Straw Hats because he saw how Luffy laughed like Gold Roger did. But the thing is, before that, Tashigi received a proposal from Miss All Sunday. The problem is what it was about, we have no idea exactly. Maybe it was a suggestion to become a new Mr. 7, a new Baroque Works agent. That's what I would guess. But anyway, this arc of Loguetown was an arc to think about how we face circumstances. Luffy faced death and laughed, but also he wanted to see where the King of the Pirates went and died, so that could bring more inspiration to himself. And something that I've learned, and it's true, the enemy will acknowledge your destination. So Smoker acknowledged Luffy's destination. Even Buggy knew a little bit about Luffy. When he saw that Luffy was laughing, that got him. That really got him. But if Luffy had died, the story would be over there. Since Luffy is still alive, then there is a problem. Someone has to go to the Grand Line. Someone has to get there. Who is doing that? Our Sir Monkey D. Luffy. And the cool thing is that Dragon told, if you chose that path, then I'm okay with it. Go for it. So Dragon is not a pirate. He's not a marine. So what is he then? The good thing about this episode is I actually get to see all the Straw Hats' personalities. We get to see a good amount about Captain Smoker and his strength and how no one can compete with him. They can't even hit him. But fate is with Luffy. Since he's the protagonist, he gets to flee. Sometimes we see that fate will be in our side. Sometimes some weird things happen as if, wait, I was supposed to be in a very bad situation here, but something happened and I'm not. Whoa, okay. Sometimes you have to see when there is someone working behind the curtains. I see that a lot of times God, he works behind the curtains, so that my life is as the life of a protagonist in some sense. So even though I'm not special, a human like anyone is, I still have my own story, and in that story things happen inside and outside my mind. I have my own reality. Each